Siempre con el pueblo. Gobierno del Perú. Siempre con el pueblo. Gobierno del Perú. Siempre con el pueblo. Gobierno del Perú. Siempre con el pueblo. Gobierno del Perú.
Famoso por la antigua civilización inca, su vasta biodiversidad y paisajes naturales, así como por una escena gastronómica de auge, Perú ha consolidado su atractivo turístico al ser clasificado como el tercer mayor receptor de inversión extranjera directa en América Latina entre 2016-2020. La industria turística del país ha obtenido varios reconocimientos por parte de los World Travel Awards en diferentes categorías.
Siempre con el pueblo. Gobierno del Perú.
Recording in progress.
Señoras y señores, muy buenos días. Bienvenidos.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to this the first meeting of tourism investment. This is the second day in which we have this opportunity to give to the academic.
Para empezar esta segunda
In order to start this second day of reflection, I wish to invite our executive president of PromPerú, Amora Carvajal.
Muy buenos días a todos.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this second day of the first meeting of tourism investment that the Exterior of Commerce Ministry has organized in order to contribute to with the tourism sector. Also, good morning and good afternoon, everyone who is watching us through the social media. The tourism sector has been reactivating lately, and we wish that the PBI will get to 5%. Also, we hope that the taxes generated by tourism gets to $2.2 million. Also, thanks to this, the economic movement will get to $1,500 million. With these numbers, employability will increase to 1 million job positions. But there's still a long way to go. That's why we need help from the public and private sectors in order to position our tourist locations. Yesterday, as you saw, this meeting started in collaboration with Tourism and Society think tank, an important organization that gathers many experts of the tourism sector that are today here. One of the topics was the reactivation of tourism post-pandemic thanks to digitalization and also the use of brands in different countries. I hope we can keep learning, exchanging ideas today, and I hope you enjoy this this session. And good morning, everyone.
Muchísimas gracias a nuestra presidenta.
Thank you very much to our Executive President, Amora Carvajal. Now I'm going to invite our Tourism Vice Minister, Julia Isabel Alvarez Novoa.
Muy buenos días tengan todos ustedes.
Good morning, everyone, friends, authorities, people from the tourism sector, guests. I agree with said. I wish that all Peruvians can hear me regarding what we're working on, with an emphasis and with expectations from what we're getting from the people who are visiting us. I want to make an emphasis on the experiences from the regions I have visited and the countries I have visited as well. I remember historian Basadre, who focused on the need of putting value to our problems that we have had during pandemic. What do I mention that? Because I think that that has made us look at our culture and lives in a different way. Because that's something I notice when I travel abroad. The reactivation of tourism has a lot to do with the traditions and culture of our country. Also, the LACAM event that was a few weeks ago, we have seen this topic with the president and all the other ministers and its importance. We have seen it with Bolivia, Ecuador, and Colombia. We see the need of joining our efforts in tourism to see our expressions, our cultural heritage, because life is not reinventing itself. Life is complex, and we are from where we come from. Today, we put value to natural spaces, and we want them to be tourist locations with sustainability. And we hope to learn, but we also want to show what we have. We have to position ourselves through culture and what we have received. And among all the things we have to offer, we have to show this to the tourists that come here. So we have to have a political vision, transcendental vision. when we talk about cuisine, we talk about Peruvian cuisine, but we also have to talk about Spain. For example, Peruvian cuisine, it's not just Peruvian cuisines, it gets elements from different countries. It's a variety of elements. Cuisine doesn't have limits. We know there is a rocoto relleno in Arequipa, but there is also one in Cusco. Rice with duck, we have it in different regions. So different cuisines have different historical processes, different customs, different parties, and all of that is for Peru. And we have to show that in different cultural spaces. There is, it's very complex, and we have to assume all of this information, and we have to value, we have to appreciate what other people can bring us as well. So that's that. It's a meeting of mutual learning. Regarding the Colombian president who came here, well, we showed him a lot of hospitality, and that's very important because we have to show this from our country to others. Thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias a la señora.
Thank you very much, Julia Isabel Alvarez Novoa, Tourism Vice Ministers. In order to start, I want to invite Antonio Santos del Valle, representative of Tourism and Society think tank, who were developing this meeting of tourism with. Welcome.
Hola, buenos días de nuevo.
Good morning again. Today we're going to start the second day of this meeting. Today we're going to talk about innovation, sustainability, and technology in the academic world. That's why we're going to start with Andres Javier Rodriguez, Director of Institutional Relations.
Vamos a tener también a Antonio Roldán, catedrático de...
Also, Antonio Roldán, Professor of International Economy and Chief of Tourism Studies and Event Management from the University of Applied Sciences in Dresden, Germany. And Viviana, I don't know why I call her Viviana, Claudia Burga, Deputy Director of Certification of Labor Competencies in Senfotur. Also, Felix España, expert in taxes, legislation, and other things. And he also does some, he's also involved in the academic world. In order to finish, we have Frank Babinger,
Director adjunto de la Universidad Complutense.
Deputy Director of the Complutense University of Madrid. And in order to have the time to finish this session, I'm going to make the questions and they are going to answer. And if you want to participate, you can ask for permission to ask your questions.
Tengo que cambiar por el tema de cámaras y cosas de esto, perdón.
We have to exchange seats because of the camera things.
Bueno, vamos a empezar en este caso en el día de hoy.
So, in order to start, we're going to begin with Frank Babinger. He's from the Complutense University of Madrid, one of the main universities in Europe,
Desde hace años,
which we have professional links with for many years. We're going to try to have a dialogue the most dynamic as possible. You have like yesterday, 5 minutes to say, to say whatever you like to. Okay, thank you. Thank you in the first place to from Peru, Lamora Carvajal and her team. I'm glad that I'm here with you, and thank you to Antonio Santos and Elena and think tank for this excellent meeting. I'm here to talk about entrepreneurship in university. We, as a university, have three goals: teaching, employability, and knowledge. We have to give the society what the society is giving to us. So this transference is very important. Yesterday, Antonio Rodan was saying that education is basic for innovation. So university play an important role in innovation, in knowledge, and also in transferring this knowledge. Universities, public and private university are very important. They are key into the creation of the society. As I was saying, giving to the society what the society is giving to us. In this sense, I come here from the Complutense University of Madrid, the biggest Spain university, the second one in Europe, 26 faculties. It almost has all the areas of knowledge, and tourism is basic. I come here from this sector. This is my specialty. So in the topics of entrepreneurship, the university has a vice-rectorate specific for employability and entrepreneurship. So I'm part of this department, and the director is Maria Concepcion, who is recognized as a leader in Spain in entrepreneurship. And also we're part of the Tourism Society think tank. Also, we have Compromprended, an entity that is focused on entrepreneurship, and in the tourism School of Tourism, we have an incubator of touristic projects which are useful for to the society and institutions, public and private institutions. The Complutense University of Madrid has 500 years. There are a lot of leaders that have studied there, but it's not just that. We have to update ourselves in terms of entrepreneurship and tourism. We use platforms and technology using artificial intelligence and data, which we can use to monitor the knowledge of the students and also the projects. And also we hold events in which the investors can do some networking and see what projects are useful to them and which ones are not. This is basic, as Vice Minister said, and also the executive president. We need the help of the public and private sector. It's not just moving knowledge of students and projects for tourist innovation, but we also have to work with institutions so that we can go against specific goals and challenges. And there's we have to take into account the great capacity of innovation that our students have towards a better world. So I don't want to say much more because we don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to answer whatever you are asking me.
pregunta desde Alemania, en este caso.
Okay,
Antonio.
I'm going to ask a question. I don't know what happened to the monitor. I don't know if it's connected. I don't know if it's there, Antonio Roldan. Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hola, muy buenos días a
Hola,
todos.
Antonio.
Good morning. I think they see you, but we cannot hear you. One moment. Now,
¿Se me escucha ahora?
can you hear me? Yes. Good morning, Antonio, from Peru, and I think it's good afternoon in Germany. According to what Frank Beckinger said, what do you have to say from your perspective, from Germany and from your relationships with Europe and your work with other universities from Europe, Asia, and Latin America? Well, thank you very much. First,
Complutense porque
I would like to greet this colleague because he has give us the main principles of education, because our goal is to research and provide this knowledge in order to put it in practice. The role of the university is that many times we have something like we're resistant to this.
con la
I
empresa privada
remember that the first contact that I have with private companies was like 20 years ago. But the thing is that the private company had like
precaución, por decirlo de alguna manera,
precautions because they thought that we were very far from the reality of an enterprise. They think we are a little bit platonic regarding ideas and far away from reality. When I had the opportunity to use this knowledge in enterprises, I realized that we can give a lot of value actually. The university has a capacity that private companies don't have. First, we can extract concepts from the challenges that we're facing as the tourism sector.
luego,
And also we can fight this and then define those elements that can adjust to the needs of the enterprises. I think this is very important. One of the frustrations that I have in a consultancy level is that many times this dialogue with institutions or countries is based on concepts that are not understood by other people, and they are influenced by the need of rapid response to those problems that are affecting us. And the sources that we have of information are not usually filtered. So we don't, the sources of information are not really selected as we would like to. The second thing is the point of view of the university. This one is the first base of human capital. We make these professionals in order to do these tasks that are going to add value to the market. And this is extremely important. There are universities that are not able to know that the enterprise's needs are frustrated when the people needs to work in these enterprises. So these two aspects are the most important for me. The university, among all the attributes it has, it's in the first place teaching of future human capital for the enterprises, and education in order to create new tools to maximize the benefits of in terms of labor in enterprises. So these both elements connect themselves very well. Thank you very much. As a member of the think tank rector committee, he develops a lot of interesting projects, and yesterday after he was here commenting from the University of Dresden, he said that he wanted to create a new place of training here in Peru, and we wanted to know if there was going to be a physical university here, but I'm not going to talk about much about it. But Antonio is going to come here in September in order to prepare the unloading of this University of Europe here in Lima. If you would like to, we're going to bring this new topic from the education institution where the technology has a lot of weight, not just from Europe, but it's also important to have these links with Latin America and other places like United States through our friend Javier Rodriguez, who is right here in the corner. He comes here from a very important educational institution. Thank you, Antonio, for this amazing introduction. I would like to start thanking the Vice Minister and the Executive President of PromPerú, Mora Carvajal, and think tank that invited us to be here today. So we, in order to provide some context, we are part of a group of universities, of school businesses, university trainers. We have more than 100,000 students, and we are also in United States, Spain, and well, in Spain, it is, we're based mainly. What we want is to facilitate is the development of tourism through the training of its leaders. So the thing is how to do it. How, where can we do something about it? Where is the need? So reading the needs of the market and listening to you regarding the attraction of investment, this relies on the competitivity between foreign and national investment. So there are people that has this capacity to get these levels of rentability. As I was saying, we want to provide to this sector through the training of these leaders. We think we know the industry very well, not much the operating level, but the training provided by the enterprises and human training, we train the leaders, the directives. So we want to develop the synergy in between the companies. For example, there are enterprises that need good students or leaders that need some training in order to improve themselves or create links between them. And so I think we know these needs and this kind of training very well. And it's curious because there are a lot of matches, because it's difficult to find this talent and it has become more difficult during the pandemic. So, for example, these hotels cannot find this kind of professionals in the tourism sector. They cannot find a proper manager. So there is a need there that when we talk between each other, we notice that there's a lack of professionals, and the students say that, okay, I want to be this person. I want to be this person that is qualified and trained in this sector. And there's a lack of them due to the education. And here in Peru, more than 80% of the tourism industry are small companies. So, for example, I cook. I'm an excellent cook, and I'm going to create a restaurant. But the reality is that you have to give instructions to people. You have to have financial control. You have to know where to invest. You have to learn to communicate. It's an enterprise, and most of the entrepreneurs notice that they need this training, but they don't get it. So there's the thing that we can provide to the industry. They show us that there is this need, and there are three big problems why this need is not covered. The territory or tourism destination, when offering this competitivity to these enterprises, and having these trained leaders it's not just a necessity, it's an attraction as well. So we have identified these problems. First, that the high education in these terms is very difficult to access to. So this is the first problem that we're focusing on. We're opening this portfolio so these students can be trained in this sector in high management level. Also, we have fellowships, so people can show their talent and make efforts in order to get financial support so that they can get this important education. In second place is that this is a eternal fight in which the academy adapts to this reality, and it's not easy because the technology has been really fast lately, but during the pandemic it was even greater, and we have to take advantage of the agility of this education because we have professionals. They develop their work there. So anything that the market is doing, um, we have to teach that. So this allows us to be very fast and adapt to the actual need that the market has. And in order to finish, there is the last thing that affects entrepreneurs or professionals that want to be trained and don't have time. And there's an effort made there because we have 15 years of trying this in education, and this experience allows us to provide them with offers that are more adaptable to their needs, to profiles. Because there were some people that couldn't be trained due to the lack of time. And this is the things that we can provide to our students and to this tourism sector. Thank you. Well, as a mathematician, he has multiplied his 5 minutes by 3. Well, now we're going to go with...
Participó en varios del encuentro que tuvimos al doctor Félix España, en la cual en él se reúnen distintas casualidades o distintos puntos, vamos a llamarlo mejor, de los temas que estamos tratando. Por una parte es un experto en turismo, un experto en temas bastante complicados como es legislación y fiscalidad, y su trabajo o los trabajos que realiza en distintos grupos, creo que con varias universidades, en la cual el tema de legislación práctico, vamos a hablarlo, por eso está aquí, por eso hemos cambiado un poco el formato del día de hoy, donde innovación, sostenibilidad, desde una manera práctica, en este caso con el tema de fiscalidad y legislación. ¿Cómo ves tú, Félix, este tema de universidad? Porque pasamos del mundo platónico, como decías, del mundo de las ideas, al mundo práctico del día a día del hotel, que necesita un experto, pongo el hotel por decir una aerolínea o por decir cualquier otro, que necesitan expertos que sepan de turismo, pero que necesitan a la vez de sostenibilidad, de sustentabilidad, perdón, de innovación, de emprendimiento, de captar ese capital humano necesario para el trabajo de las empresas.
Gracias, Antonio, otra vez por la invitación a todos. Amora, gracias por todo. Bueno, hemos estado hablando de innovación, ¿no? Tecnología. Lo que hizo el COVID, impulsar aún más el tema de las tecnologías y acercar un poco más al conocimiento. Estamos en una era donde necesitamos más conocimiento y ahora hay herramientas que me permiten educarme a distancia. Puedo perfectamente, no sé, tramitar un visado para irme a estudiar la Complutense, pero también puedo perfectamente inscribirme en un máster a distancia, en hostelería, y estudiar a distancia determinada materia que me permita prepararme. Yo creo que esos son los retos que como peruanos deberíamos afrontar, ¿no? Tratar de educarnos y ver el uso de las tecnologías como medio para obtener las capacidades necesarias para desempeñar, en este caso, los temas turísticos. Si bien es cierto que hay muchas herramientas también que te permiten ver a distancia materias y sacar algunos tipos de actividades académicas, también es cierto que por lo menos España brinda algunas posibilidades para que la persona, si la intención es estudiar en España, pueda viajar, tramitar un visado en España y pueda obtener un grado en una universidad o un máster. Recientemente tengo que tocarlo porque es bastante reciente, se reformó el reglamento de extranjería español y ahora la persona que estudia consigue una carta de admisión, por lo menos en la Facultad de Comercio Exterior y Turismo, podría acceder a un visado de estudios que le va a permitir no solo hacer el máster en la Complutense de manera presencial, sino también le va a permitir trabajar para que se sustente mientras que está haciendo el máster. Pero si no te quieres lanzar esa aventura, tener que viajar y hacerlo, la propuesta tecnológica de hostelería es bastante interesante porque lo puedes hacer a distancia. Lo interesante siempre es prepararse y afrontar estos retos de las nuevas tecnologías aprovechando las herramientas que tenemos.
Muchísimas gracias por tus 5 minutos, de verdad. No como otros. Y ahora he dejado para el final a Claudia. He dicho Claudia, que no Viviana. Es que no sé, le llamo Viviana desde el primer día. Vi la V, me gustó y desde entonces Viviana. A Claudia y Viviana de Senfotur, una institución que, si no te importa, me gustaría, o nos gustaría, porque lo estuvimos hablando, que nos dijera qué hace, cómo trabaja, además en un tiempo, y después entremos a hablar sobre qué hace Senfotur desde el punto de vista de innovación, sostenibilidad y emprendimiento.
Muy bien, muchas gracias. Bueno, buenos días, muchas gracias por el espacio. Traigo el saludo de nuestra directora nacional de Senfotur, la señora Yanina Bendaño, en mi calidad ahorita de representante de esta importante institución. Senfotur, es importante destacar el modelo de gestión de esta institución. Es un organismo público adscrito al Ministerio de Comercio Exterior y Turismo, tiene 44 años de creación Y básicamente Senfotur nace con una propuesta de alguna manera atender en el marco de la política nacional a la formación del recurso humano. No solo la formación, sino también fortalecimiento de todo lo que es la parte empresarial, ¿no? Entonces, este es un componente muy importante dentro de la planificación estratégica de un país. Senfotur otorga certificaciones a carreras profesional técnico, ¿no? Tenemos 4 carreras que son Administración Turística, Administración Hotelera, Guía Oficial de Turismo y Gastronomía Peruana e Internacional, ¿no? En este proceso de cerca de ya 44 años de esta institución, como pertenecemos a un organismo público, en realidad lo que destaca o lo que diferencia en la formación, primero que es una formación modular, está basado en el modelo de competencias, ¿no? Hablamos de conocimientos, habilidades, destrezas, y de esta manera también actualizamos los programas de estudio acorde a la demanda ocupacional. ¿Qué significa? Que constantemente realizamos estudios de pertinencia que nos exige también el Ministerio de Educación, en donde, por un lado, estudiamos la demanda social, ¿no? ¿Quiénes estarían interesados en estudiar, en conocer un poco más del turismo? Y, por otro lado, la demanda ocupacional, ¿no? Que viene a ser quienes van a requerir estos perfiles, estos profesionales. Entonces, por un lado, somos un centro de formación. También Senfotur es un centro certificador de competencias laborales. El Ministerio de Trabajo en Perú tiene un gran programa que es el programa de evaluación y certificación de competencias. En el caso, para diferentes sectores productivos. En el caso de Senfotur, nosotros certificamos competencias en diversos perfiles ocupacionales del sector turismo, más al nivel operativo. ¿Qué quiere decir? Que certificamos, validamos competencias de personas que tienen la experiencia, pero que formalmente no se han educado por diversos motivos, ¿no? Por diversas limitaciones. Entonces, ayudamos a subir el nivel de estas personas, a validar sus competencias, a reconocer toda la trayectoria en cuanto a la experiencia, al aprendizaje, como se dice, in situ, en una cocina, en una lavandería, en un área de housekeeping, en fin. Entonces, todo esto de acá se lleva a cabo en un proceso de evaluación y certificaciones. Eso por un lado. Por otro lado, de la política nacional es que nosotros generamos diversos convenios, trabajamos mucho con alianzas estratégicas, con municipios, en donde asistimos técnicamente en la elaboración o formamos parte de los comités de la elaboración de los planes estratégicos de desarrollo turístico. También desarrollamos vínculos con instituciones, asociaciones, cooperaciones. En el marco, recientemente hemos firmado un convenio con el Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores que nos está permitiendo vincularnos a través de las embajadas, a través de las oficinas de comercio exterior en todo el mundo y de esta manera venimos negociando convenios con universidades México, Chile, Argentina, Portugal, Tailandia, estamos trabajando con El Salvador, con las Islas del Caribe, brindamos asistencia técnica en gastronomía, nuestros chefs, nuestros especialistas en turismo están participando en estos programas financiados por la Agencia Peruana de Cooperación Internacional. Y de esa manera vinculamos los saberes, como mencionaba la viceministra, somos países de sabor y saberes, creo que era así, y de esa manera nosotros compartimos el conocimiento, nos expandimos y creo que en el tema de innovación lo voy a dejar para después, seguramente me van a dar también un espacio porque tenemos también un proyecto que ya les vamos a comentar y de esa manera creo que vamos fortaleciendo el trabajo. Y algo que vamos a rescatar, Senfotur no solamente está ubicado en Lima, Senfotur tiene, por el momento tenemos 3 sedes que abarcan los grandes pueblos de desarrollo turístico. Tenemos en el norte, en Lambayeque, en Chiclayo, y tenemos en el sur, en el Cusco. Y de esta manera queremos ir abarcando poco a poco el trabajo a nivel nacional. Por temas de capacidad, nos permitimos por ahora tener esta plataforma en estas 3 regiones. Sin embargo, las solicitudes de los gobiernos regionales y a través de convenios que queremos materializar, porque Senfotur lo que nosotros tenemos es el know-how. Necesitamos una cooperación de nivel local, de nivel regional, que nos ceda los espacios, que nos ceda equipamientos y nosotros llevar, de acuerdo a la demanda, a la necesidad de las regiones, en donde podemos nosotros formar o perfeccionar todo el tema de la cualificación en turismo. Entonces, siempre estamos con bastante apertura, manteniendo vinculación.
So we are always linked with programs of Mincetur. And in this way, we're trying to be part of the strategy of the knowledge and try to put out our efforts also in research from the World Tourism Organization. Independently, we are members of this World Tourism Organization. So our students are also participating in this kind of events in which we're going to be organizers. We are in coordination with the World Tourism Organization, and we have also held different events in coordination with Natalia Bayona. And in this way, we have a lot of interesting topics that we're talking about. Sometimes we think that we don't have the resources, but that's why there are the leaders in order to make or create this connectivity between institutions with innovation, with and this is what this institution wants to exchange with the world and provide to the world. Okay, now we're going to start with some questions. We're going to start with Antonio Roldan Ponce. Because he has something to do, I don't think he's going to be here for a long time. Okay, the University of Dresde, Peru, innovation, entrepreneurship, your desire of working here in Peru. I don't know if you can talk about all of this in 5 minutes. And so that we can ask other questions to the other speakers.
Voy a intentarlo otra vez, un momento.
Okay, I'm going to try now. Can you hear me? No, we cannot hear you, Antonio.
Bueno, pues como te decía, Antonio, voy a intentar.
Okay, as I was saying, you have to be disciplined. This is a question for the audience, and it's. I want you to think in the unicorns, these enterprises that have been successful. I'm talking about Uber, TripAdvisor, even Instagram. These enterprises have in common that the tourism sector is essential. For example, Instagram is important because of the post or publications you can do here. In the second place, Wikipedia. If you search Silicon Valley there, you're going to find here the technical revolution, and you're going to read the story of Silicon Valley. Thanks to Stanford, the bases have been created for technological development of multiple enterprises. The next aspect is that the people that are in the operating level are very important as well. The revenue management, the social media management are concepts used by these people, and some of you are learning about these concepts by yourselves. Although you have not been trained in a formal way, you are still trained for this job. And if I go beyond with other concepts like the the artificial intelligence and complex systems, among others, they are all important elements in order to create a strategy for any product or tourism destination. So, a strategy, and we have to focus on reactivating ourselves in a different way. So thinking about this, one story is that 15 years ago, the president of France said that he wanted to create something for francophones. The expert said that for this project, it was going to have a duration of 5 years. The university said, where are we going to be 5 years next to this? I mean, the ideas are in the universities. That's why my interest from the University of Applied Science in Dresde is to take these ideas to other places in which these ideas can develop. If I compare the satisfaction levels of students, there is a gap. The students of tourism are really glad in regards to the studies they have made. And the greater level of insatisfaction is in universities that I don't want to mention in order not to hurt them, because some of them are present. And the last thing, let me finish. This is what we're going to do in Ecuador. I'm sorry, Peru. Sorry for the lapsus. Is to collaborate with institutions, academic institutions, in order to get this practical knowledge to different universities. Thank you for not mentioning anything about the Complutense University of Madrid, because that will be a problem. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to ask a question. And it's in regards to innovation and online training in Peru. Can you provide us with a specific example? Yes, I'm going to recover. I'm to give the minutes that I took. Well, we've been working for 15 years online in order to provide our students with different tools, technological tools, and we as an institution, as you mentioned before, the advantage is in this sector through our professors and the tools that we are providing them, so that enterprises can get these trained people through the knowledge that we're providing them. I know you will like it. Okay, and now Claudia, what is, as a Peruvian, I would like to know, what can I do in a practical way? What can I work in order to transform this to entrepreneurship and creation? Can you hear me? Well, I wanted to inform you that Senfotour also has a superior range school classification. And so we're going to be able to provide with titles in the name of the country, and this has to do with the public sector as well, because we are also responsible for educating people with this vision of generating developing the country. We're talking about not just job positions, but spaces in public administration, which is very important also for Senfotur. In the case of innovation and how we can add to the future of this country, well, we always try to focus on this as well. And in this framework of the pandemic, in terms of innovation, we participated in a program of the Ministry of Production with big funds and orientated to high technology and services. We have been able to conduct a diagnostic, and we have developed a strategic plan in order to identify the lacks and needs. Also, we have won a prize in for different sectors. But, okay, in this case, the tourism sector has won a prize through Minsatur. And in the second phase, this project is going to implement 8 identified services. So on one hand, we provide with training, but on the other hand, we can sell technological services. So we have to design, we have to test the services that we're going to provide to different enterprises. We're talking about a very important project. We have to diagnose how the enterprises are doing. We have to assess them, and then we can develop a strategy. The services are Senfotur will provide with technological assistance and digital services, strategic monitoring, gastronomic routes. We're going to have a laboratory dedicated to this, so that we can, and we also want to get help from different institutions, international and national institutions, in order to improve our lab. And we have to cooperate with them so that we can develop different services in the touristic sector in order to promote competitivity and quality assurance as well, executive training, because we know that the training is also important in order to make good use of the new technologies. And we want to get also providers, better providers. This is what I have to say regarding this topic. Okay, there are a lot of concepts mentioned there. Frank, if you don't mind, could you please talk in specifically about employability? What does the Complutense University of Madrid do in terms of employability? Well, as I was saying, thank you for your question. The Vice-Rectorate, we have employability and entrepreneurship. They are united. They are together. The employability can be entrepreneurship, and it's not necessarily creating enterprises, but it could have something to do with just improving something in the enterprise. Our mission is to see beyond the classroom. It's not just about what we teach in the classroom. It's not just providing them with the grade. So our goal is to monitor, as Antonio Roldan said, in satisfaction long term. So we monitor our students in order to see that if we're teaching them, it's useful. It's not just saying, okay, I'm the best one in this. We have to monitor what we have taught them. So practically all these careers um, uh, provide the students with practices that they have to do. Some of them go to ministries, some of them go to hotels. This sector is very interesting. There are a lot of professions that can be developed in this sector. We don't have limits beyond reality. And also, we have tutors that are assigned to every student in order to see if the training program works. And we hope that this practical work becomes job positions. There are areas in which our students are really hired by the enterprises. I'm sure of this because I know when I have spoken with these companies that they are glad that that our students are working there. And we open these paths, these ways for the students to connect with these enterprises. It's not just teaching, but we have this practical side way as well. And also in regards to entrepreneurship, um, the students can also exchange ideas and share their talent because the students can also teach us, the professors. Many times we have filters, academic filters, teaching filters that don't allow us to jump, to take a leap. But for example, what if we say, why are you doing this way? Well, I've been doing it like this a long time. But I think like we can provide them with new ideas from the ideas of the students that are very talented and have the proper knowledge in order to provide them with these new ideas. Thank you very much. I'm sure that's that way because we actually have these students in our company. Another question is, Felix, before handling the microphone to you, in regards to the practical work in universities in Europe regarding education and employability from your experience, how does that work? I mean, we have a student that had just finished his career. I want to do a postgraduate on tourism. And now what? Should I get in touch with the university with you? How do I do that? I mean, we're talking about traveling abroad. And the Schengen visa, all the problems it generates. And if I'm a parent, it's kind of difficult to send my kid to Europe. Well, it's interesting because from 2018, there was a modification and the student used to be able to do this, could go to the consul here in his country of origin, and it was difficult to get a work permission. The university had to have an agreement with the institutions, but it was very difficult for the person to work in Spain. There was a residency in order to look for employment that allowed you to get this permission to study and work in Spain. You needed to get authorization to study, and then you could get this master in foreign trade. You just needed to pay your fees and pay for the fees of the city where you were going to live in. And this hasn't been modified for a long time. And you had to do this process in Spain. But if you were going to study this master, it was going to be very, very hard because you will have to work 30 hours in order to afford this. And also, in case you wanted to stay, you will have to work. And once you finish that, you should you will have to come back to Peru and see what you could do here. And but now it is different, and there is a good alternative in order to student to travel to Spain and be able to work there. Okay, thank you for your answer. We don't have so much time. We have Antonio Roldan here. I don't know if you have any specific question to one of our speakers.
Hola, buenos días.
Hello, good morning. I also belong to the academy, and I would like to add that as a researcher, I've noticed that the students that don't know much are considered very important. For example, if you know how to cook, or if you studied in Senfotur, they are considered to be ready to, they are considered like they are ready to create a restaurant. And this is what happens. If they know how to cook, they think they can't create a restaurant. But as you said, that the fact that you know how to cook doesn't mean that you know how to manage it, because you need an accountant, you need someone who purchases the things you need to use, you need human resources in order to treat the personnel. That's what I wanted to add, since from what I know. In order to complement that topic, well, it's complicated because knowing how to cook is the goal, but the context is about how you get to learn, because The cuisine topic is very interesting at the moment because we're trying to incorporate the cultural knowledge. In Peru, and the cuisine is about picanterias and chicherias. We have cultural expressions, and these picanterias have been declared intangible cultural heritage of the nation. So why am I saying this? It's not just one thing. There are multiple things that are doing possible to create an enterprise, because we have to ask, why do we focus so much on technology? I mean, it's like we have to follow technology instead of technology follow us. We have to change our cell phones every year. What is the point in the middle, you know? We have to provide value to our cultural expressions. We have to look for the point in the middle, you know? What do we do with so much technology if we don't know how to cook? We have to, the technology has to meet us halfway so that we can reach our goals. And obviously, if we are good cooks, that's also a good component. I'm telling you, this is an effort we're making because what are we trying to do? In terms of knowledge, in terms of knowing what are the elements used in the cuisine, it's also about teaching. We have held events in Spain and Mexico where it's in social sciences, the commerce is something basic, but it shouldn't be considered that is that way. I mean, technology is important, but technology cannot control us because knowledge, traditions, heritage are the basic elements, not technology. And Peru is one of the main representatives of these kind of elements. Okay, I'm going to answer this. I think it has to do with equilibrium. I am Deleuze, I'm a Spanish, and I have lived here in Latin America as well. And Manuel and Javier, the people doesn't know how to cook ham, but we look in the internet how to do it. So there has to be an equilibrium between what you said and what I'm saying. What do you think in regards to that? Well, as the Vice Minister said, the competitivity is regarding the product we're offering. And what is important is the authenticity of the product. In the Peru, we've been talking about Peru having multiple choices because you have a lot of things in regards to your culture and gastronomy, but not just authenticity, because we have to communicate with the people and we have to use the technology in order to communicate with these audiences. But as you said, yes, of course, we have to take into account this authenticity.
No sé si se me escucha.
I don't know if you can hear me. Well, I just want to add this thing. The goal is not to know how to cook. The goal is to be successful. Knowing how to cook is just the way, and technology is vital. It's more than a tool, and it allows us to put in practice our skills. So this is essential because it allows us to make good use of the resources. So if we think that technology is not important, we have a problem there. Technology is essential for the development in a sustainable way of anything. So I don't think we have to be resistant to technology because this is so important as other elements that define human identity of the people. I don't know if there's another question. Well, I agree with Isabel in that technology has to adapt to us. You have mentioned that the major disseminator of ham cutter, which is so famous in Spain. I know about that, and I assure you that YouTube doesn't provide you with the practical skills. You need to do it in person, and you need to practice a lot how to cut the ham with the accuracy it needs. I'm just telling you that in massification, technology is very important because I was telling you that you could find this information on the internet, but of course it's not the same. It's it's combining lots of elements. As I just wanted to say that it was not enough to know how to cook. There's a lot of elements. Moreover, in the 21st century, we have to unite all these elements so that everything can improve, you know. I don't know if there is another question. Good morning, I'm Jason Artete. I'm from Ica. I'm dedicated to grapes. Well, we have a great in gastronomy industry. We know that this is important in Europe and Chile, in Latin America. They hold events regarding this topic. And it's not about just coming and it's not about just attending one event and visiting one place. I would like to ask if in Europe the government helps in the development of the sector, and also if Sempotur has um, a possibility to develop and use other resources aside from just pisco. Well, as it was mentioned, it's about creating a product. In Spain, for example, it's not like it's not like we really have help from the government. It's about the institutions because they are incorporating different producers of grapes in this activity. A few months ago, the government and the Ministry of Tourism has called for people or leaders in tourism. And what is happening now? The experience in terms of gastronomy. Well, the tourism sector has this experience, has had this experience for many years. The question is, does every territory has its specifications? What are the most important ones so that we can copy what is good for us, share experiences, and improve our products here in Peru? In your case, what's important is your own experience. And the experiences are very different, as Olivera mentioned. So the experience can be working under the sun and just keep working. And this can be a tourist product, but we cannot say that it will be immediately. I mean, we can work on that to making this activity in something valuable as a tourist product. Thank you very much. There are Tour developed the Pisco route. We made a lot of workshops adapted to the stores, the small stores, so that tourists could get a full experience. And that's something that we can work on from an academic point of view, from a researching point of view. We have to focus this in the training that we are providing through Tour, and maybe improving these routes or tourism spaces. It's an important project. It's very interesting. And this is something that we can offer, we know. But it's just, it also has to do with communication, with how we sell this product, linked with the cultural part in order to create an experience, because we don't just want tourists to go and buy the product. We want we want them to have an experience. In this sense, Tour is also focused on this kind of projects and is kind of ideas in order to create, for example, this Pisco route and other things, because there is a high value that we want to take advantage of. We have team in the think tank kind of introverted because there are a lot of producers in Africa and also in gastronomy, in terms of gastronomy, in Peru and Argentina, United States. The tourist has the custom of seeing what he can drink, what he can eat, but that's not tourism nor gastronomy, because you have to gather all together in order for the tourist to get the experience. It's much more complex than just drinking a glass of wine. You need more things. There are more elements that have to be combined all together. There's a major knowledge, a major experience, major elements. So that's also important in terms of hospitality, because there are people that has talked about, instead of talking about gastronomy, they talk about cacao or pisco. So, and we never talk about wine. They talk about cacao, coffee, and pisco. And I'm surprised that you're talking about wine and other things. when in the map that we have designed, Bolivia, Peru, and I don't know which other country, don't talk about grapes and wine, but but cacao and pisco and other and all the products related to the sea are really important as well. If you could allow me to say something, I have a comment. Is it possible? Yeah, Germany wants to speak. Yes, we develop a product and ask for the support of institutions with the hope that tourists can buy this product. Or do we develop a product of a client that the tourist wants to purchase? And this is essential for any person that wants to position a tourist product in the global market that has a very big offer. You have to differentiate on the products. This is just a reflection. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you. I wanted to ask something regarding the social part in terms of this tourism of experiences, in terms of gastronomy, among others that we have been talking about in this first part of the session. And I think this is very related to the this diversification of the destination. I think we have to work together, the public and private sector, and also the academy. And it's a big challenge. And from this point of view, we have to work together and listen to what the others think. Because if we talk about creating experiences, we have to change our mentality in order to develop an innovative offer. And it's it's about, of course, the training of the students in the tourism sector. So how are you changing and this? Are you changing something in the education? Are you changing something that is going to be to play a key role in the educating these leaders in the tourism sector? Thank you. I think there's another question. Well, thank you very much. Well, from the training point of view, although Senfotour has technical careers, in terms of research, doesn't have to do just with university careers. We think about research being important on how to manage locations, destinations, territories, services. So they are all important. So what kind of planning could we have if we didn't have this research? And what could we transmit to our students? So they are being trained also for being entrepreneurs. Research is what is most important here. It allows to change our reality. So we do work with research and we work with institutions and we work with enterprises. We have been developing this, no, not just knowledge, because you know you can learn, of course, but in but we also have to have these skills in terms of leadership, entrepreneurship, and talent, self-esteem, and being creative, innovative. We also work on that in our workshops. We also trained our professors, not just the students. And we teach them how to transmit this knowledge. And in this way, we combined all these elements, and that's why I think we have a great offer. Also have these experts and specialists in this topic that allows us to create the great education that we're providing. And also for this to translate to employability. This is a very an activity that creates a lot of diversification in many sectors. And we have to continue this work because I think we have been doing this for more than 20 years, but maybe we need to put it in paper, not just in not just in the people, but maybe in a written form so that we can know how much we have done and what resources we have used and what can we do in the future. Thank you. Yes, I think there is an important thing to say. On one side, we have the academy, the university, in which we teach, and 2 years of a master, etc. Okay, we have this rule. And on the other hand, I'm a geographist. I need to see it in person. Every destination is different. Depending on the grade of tourism, I can teach general stuff. But of course, people at different locations and destinations can teach me different things. And we have to work with these people. On one side, we have the academy, and on the other side, we have the territory, the destination. And in this matter, public and private institutions have to work on the things that the destinations can provide us with. Because, for example, if I come from Spain, I think it's very amazing, the Peruvian gastronomy. In research, you can see this topic, but in order to know the details, you have to work with the people in the destinations. I think we're confusing concepts. There are some old concepts, and now tourism is an experience. Because it's not about, for example, if I ask if you have an email, of course you have now an email. But now, or as I was saying, tourism are experiences. And we have to update and we have to know how to create these new products. Tourism is the experiences we create. And also, the people on the tourism sector focus on the expenses that the tourists bring to our country. These expenses are the things that are what makes the industry work. Whether you travel to Spain or to anywhere in the world, it's how much you're spending. So if you don't have petroleum, you don't have anything, you don't have gas, we live because the tourists come and spend their money here. So we need this tourism, these tourists visiting our country or our locations. We need someone to pay. Unless we are our NGO, I think this is important. And if you could let me please say something. Coming back to the question that has been asked, in terms of content, tourism has the 10% of the investment, foreign investment, and it has the possibility of multiplication. We need to professionalize tourism, and it's not just developing products, but focusing on strategic analysis, strategic marketing. We have to focus on everything from a strategy side. It's not about just our students, but the university have to be open to the people that are already working from many different programs in the professional world. So if the person doesn't have education in what the person does, that person can still take courses so he or she can validate their work.
Hola. Buenas tardes con todos.
Good afternoon. Certainly, after listening to you, you have been saying that you prepare students in the operating level so that they can get involved in improving their services or being leaders. But how do you involve students in this part of touristic administration, in these potential experiences, as Claudia said? Because the students are preparing for the operating level, but how do you get them to enter the public administration? So how do you prepare this human resource in order for them to manage, planify more, especially in this framework in which the goal is not to increase the tourist, but also to focus on sustainability and cultural expressions that we need to revalidate. And this has to do with what the other ma'am said. Planification and implementation will improve the way in which we can create these products and services based on experiences, not in the sense of rediscovering tourism, because there are experiences, but there are products that we can bring to this diversification, as Jason mentioned, in the grapes and wine producer. So how do we prepare our students in order to manage these tourist attractions? Okay, I made an emphasis on training, on the training that we're providing online. Is one way, but Australia has also students that come here, and in this training, this is more official. In these modes, we focus more on research than in the public institutions, because other institutions are focused on practicability. But we also offer tourist grades, masters for universities, for students in universities. And this allows us to focus as well in sustainability in a transversal way. So we combine all these programs and elements. Well, in the tourist grade, um, we do have this, but in other universities, they have something different. And they are not separated. You take both parts as one. You take these titles, but what you should do is to see how these titles or careers complement themselves, complement with each other. So we divide it in different topics, but they all have to do with the rest, and we cannot separate it. It will be absurd to see the operating part without seeing the experiences, and vice versa. And regarding what Antonio Roldan said, also, aside from masters, grades, and everything, we have constant training that can be done in person, in which you don't need 4 years. You can just focus on a specific topic, a specialized training with experts from the university or external. So there could be a grade or title you could get in a few hours, in a few weeks, in which you can focus on the management of the specific tourist attraction. But in a general way, we offer, this is our offer, but we also have these specializations. As Antonio Roldan mentioned, since we're talking about gastronomy and cuisine, we have a last question. And with that, we're going to finish. But should there be a role of the university related to public policies with development contribution, not just the student's perspective, but from the government? Should there be a role that you think should be more important? Thank you very much. Well, can I say something? Well, as the role of the university has to have in terms of leadership, I think this leadership role is being assumed by the university because it's developing or preparing solutions. I'm talking about the University of Applied Sciences of Dresde is creating an inventory of tourism that includes sustainable heritage. This is in the main projects of the university, and this project called Oxico has received funds in order to develop solutions for regions, communities, in order to help in an active way the creation of an tourism inventory. So we're taking that step. Second, tourist intelligence. In 2018, we received a recommendation from the European Community that was forming the network of destinations, intelligent destinations, so we can create this
Que dependiendo de
certification
Alemania es el DIN y en
that these
España es AENOR,
locations are
serían estándares
intelligent
que tienen que cumplir los destinos. Bueno, pues la Unión
destinations.
colabora, primero,
And
en
there's
la
a
definición de
series
estos,
of standards
segundo,
that these
en el
locations have
apoyo
to
a las personas que tienen
have in order
responsabilidad
to get
en
this
destino
certification.
para
And
poder
it's about supporting
con las
people
normas de
that have
certificación.
responsibilities in
Último,
these
y este es un asunto también
destinations so
interesante,
that
la
they
universidad,
can focus on
en
these
cooperación,
norms of standardization.
está desarrollando
And
las
also,
soluciones
the university,
para estos
in
destinos
cooperation with
inteligentes. De
enterprises,
forma,
are
el papel de
developing solutions for these
por ejemplo, tenemos
intelligent
una empresa, es una inteligencia turística,
destinations.
con
So
esta empresa
the
tenemos
role
una red
of
de Master
leadership,
Clubs,
we have an
la
enterprise,
herramienta
and
que en
we
estos
were
momentos se está
working
utilizando
with this
en multitud de
enterprise
destinos de España y fuera de España,
with
en el
D
caso de
clubs,
Alemania,
which is a
puedo
tool
decir que esta es la herramienta que
that we're
utilizamos,
using
donde un destino
with multiple locations or
puede
destinations
hacer
in
una
Spain.
monitorización en tiempo real del gasto del turista,
When that
unidad del
allows us to
turista,
monitor
etcétera, etcétera.
the destination
Y
as
estos
well as
son
the
dos ejemplos de
transport
liderazgo
experiences that
que
the
la universidad
tourist
creo que
is
está
having.
asumiendo ya.
So these are some examples of leadership that the
Creo que
university has
la
or has
universidad debe ser,
assumed.
va a ser muy breve, un actor esencial en el territorio. O sea, creo que
I'm going to be very short. I think the university has to be an essential element in the territory.
Sí, perdón.
Les digo más, y que les aseguro que no lo conoce y no criticaría porque es como la dinámica, pero que sin embargo como paradigma hay que desaparecerlo, hay que combatir que, por ejemplo, acá hay magníficos arqueólogos, por ejemplo, que hacen trabajo
I'm not criticizing the
importante y diferente
dynamic, but
del Perú.
there
¿Cuánto lo
is
saben eso las
something that
agencias,
we have to fight against.
guías? ¿Cuánto de eso lo saben las instituciones?
For example, the work that the archaeologists
Yo les pregunto
do.
a una agencia,
The institutions, the
tenía mucho
people don't know a thing about that. If
y
I
lo
ask
sabe
an
quién es.
agency
Yo soy un arqueólogo. Sirve
who is
esto
Lucho
para poner en
Lumbreras,
valor el bien cultural,
of course, they
accede
are not going to know.
que debe
And
ser
why is
para que lo
this
promocione y para que
useful?
la gente de la región se prepare y ofrezca un servicio en el cual uno involucra a todos los actores, empezando por los mismos pueblos, o sea, eso no existe. O sea, es más, por ejemplo, la institución, les pongo un solo ejemplo, estamos tratando de hacer convenios con las universidades, por ejemplo, de la zona donde está el Gran Señor de Zipán, extraordinario, que para mí tan importante como Machu Picchu, si tuviera que compararlo. Sin embargo, ¿cuánto lo conocemos el propio Perú? Muy poco.
So we need to know what we're talking about. We need to know these elements. We need to know the people we're talking about in order to sell the products. That's the first thing we have to know as a country. We have to know ourselves. We have to value ourselves. There was this person that was talking about Machu Picchu. Well, I didn't know him. And when he shows me all that he's all that he has found in research and everything, I was amazed because I thought, wow, how much we're not sharing to the world. There was also an example. A group of people came to Tacna and asked regarding the production in average that we have. And he asked how much was here. And we all looked at each other and nobody knew. That person came here to Peru with that information and made it useful. So I'm telling you, we need to know ourselves first. So how much of this information can help us to create excellent products and the need having bring vegetables from other countries. We have to know our countries, country, because we can produce an excellent wine from the grapes we have here. We have to look at the things we have in our country. This is the big challenge that we have today in our country. We have to recognize what we are, what we have, what we can offer. This is made from alpaca. How much is this paid for? How much do you pay for 1 ounce of this? 11 soles. How much the family pay? How much it costs to the family that makes this? I thank God that I have this public position, but it's very sad that the universities are not linked with the public sector, because you're an example of what the tourism can cause, you know. Because there are other countries with less attractions like Colombia, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica. They have more tourism that we have. And that's what we have to change, our transformation. We have to listen to all the experiences and make all this knowledge useful as well. I'm sorry for everything that I'm saying, but okay, thank you. One of the things that the good things that tourism has is that we can put this in perspective and we add value. But more than that, the tourism represents many other elements and that have to be gathered all together, and it's part of a process. Talking about this question, I think in tourism we have to differentiate when a school is part of social sciences or if in economic sciences or in environmental sciences. So they are different approaches and they um, shape different profiles according to different contexts. So of course, it always requires a lot of support, financial support from different institutions, but it's also about exchanging knowledge. So we're training different professionals in different areas with different qualifications, but what about when the person is searching for a job in their country? If we have job positions for this, we if we have to think if we provide these positions to these people, and we have to see if these people have the opportunity to begin as a starting professional and get to be vice minister or ministry, you know, because we have been formed on working in the public sector, but we also need, well, the enterprise perspective. So it's interesting to, it will be interesting to create a dialogue between the people that are studying the social sciences, in the environmental sciences and economic sciences in order to promote this conversation and for these job positions to be created for the people to be able to raise to these positions, because you don't just need the talent, you need the experience and the knowledge, and you need to depolitize these positions, and they need to receive, um, have access to these opportunities from the technical areas. I think this is something that we have to talk about, not just as a country, but with other countries as in Latin America, because we have to shape these profiles in public administration and what the universities are doing in order to create this kind of profiles, because we need a real change in education in order to create different professional profiles. Because I know people that have the same position for 20 years and so we need more opportunities. We are so that we can say that we're a country that develops tourism and that we sell tourism. But I also give these students the opportunities to develop their skills here in Peru, and so that they don't need to travel to other countries to develop these skills. I completely agree with Dr. Borga in this sense. We should, I don't know, tourism has a problem with reputation. From the political point of view, it's better to help the engineering industry, for example. It is seen as accessory. What the Dr. Burga says, we have a Minister of Economy, of Finance, we have economists. In the Ministry of Health, we have doctors, etc. In the tourism sector, the ministries, we have, we don't have people specialized in this topic. We see people with experience in the public sector, but not in tourism. And in order to simplify this, I can talk about regarding why the products of Peru are not known. I can talk about, for example, the lack of access. We have to think what is for example, the Dominican Republic doing that we're not doing. What are the incentives that we have to offer the sector in order for the sector to, in order for it to be manifested? I think Peru should be the first or be on the top ranking of destinations. So from all the institutions, what we can do is work from the government, work from the institutions, work from the heart, and work from the brain, which is the university.
Buenísimo, Antonio. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, Antonio. In the same line, is what we'll talk about when we are talking about development. The support from the government, the support from the enterprises, and the support from the academy. Thank you very much for all this criticism, because it's the academia spirit that we need here. And now I want to remember you that today has been communicated by the WTA. We have won as the main destination, tourism destination with Machu Picchu, and we are the main gastronomy touristic location in Latin America. And in this recognition, we also recognize many hotels and also the effort of the people that work and the investments and the support from the government, as has been mentioned before by our minister yesterday and our vice today, in this great effort in order to get these elements all together. There are a lot of fusions, a lot of cultures and flavor and product of our migrations. But well, we have them now, right now. And this is the country that are that have invited you to come here. And in this spirit of reflection, there is no orthodoxia without orthopraxis, as it has been said. I thank all the commitment from all the institutions that are present here, and I hope that this is an enrichful meeting. Thanks to all of the being here. I was told to give some words in order to say goodbye to Lima. Thanks for the exchange of ideas that you have generated here today. Thank you very much for what you have shared. Thanks. I invite all of you, all our friends, to keep debating here. We have coffee outside, and you can keep exchanging ideas. Please pay attention because we are going to be in Tarapoto next. Thank you very much, everyone.
Recording stopped.